How to get a return on failure. The lesson I didn't want to learn. Today we're talking about a brand new book by John C. Maxwell called How to Get a Return on Failure. This book is narrated by him, John C. Maxwell. It's 4 hours and 30 minutes long. It was released April 14th, 2026. Now here's what caught my attention. April 14th wasn't just the day that the book was released. It was also the day that my failure finally came to its head. You know those moments in life where something you've been fighting, denying, avoiding, or hoping would work itself out finally reaches a conclusion? That was the day for me. Not because Maxwell teaches us to look at failure differently, because he teaches us how to profit from it. Failure is expensive unless you learn from it. Most people experience failure and only get the pain. But if you're going to pay the price of failure, you might as well get something valuable in return. That resonated with me. As a father, husband, and someone who's spent time in a leadership position, I've learned something. Your pride is in charge, but it's an incredible teacher if humility is in charge. The question isn't, did you fail? The question is, what did failure teach you? The difference between losing and learning. One of the biggest takeaways from the book is that failure doesn't define you. Your response to failure does. Some people fail and become bitter. Others fail and become better. The event is the same. The outcome is different. I've seen people lose their jobs, relationships, opportunities, promotions, and leadership positions. Some spend years blaming everyone else. Others look in the mirror and ask, what can I learn from this? Those people grow. Failure reveals character. One thing that failure does that success never can is reveal what's inside of us. Success often hides weaknesses. Failure exposes them. Failure exposes pride. It exposes entitlement. Failure exposes blind spots. But once those things are exposed, you can finally work on them. That's why failure can become one of God's greatest tools. James tells us that trials produce perseverance. Romans 5 tells us suffering produces perseverance, character, and hope. Those verses are not talking about comfort. They're talking about growth, the hard truth. Here's a lesson I learned the hard way. Sometimes failure isn't something happening to us. Sometimes it's something happening for us. I know that sounds crazy when you're living through it. Nobody wants the setback. Nobody wants the embarrassment. Nobody wants the demotion. Nobody wants to disappoint. But looking back, some of the biggest lessons in my life came disguised as failure. Things I fought against, things I prayed would change, things I thought were unfair. Later, I realized they were preparing me for something bigger. Maxwell's core message of the book is simple. Failure is not a dead end. It's data, it's feedback, it's tuition. It's an investment. And if you're willing to learn from it, failure can produce a return far greater than success ever could. Because success often teaches confidence. Failure teaches wisdom. Final thoughts. If you're going through a setback right now, this book is worth your time. Not because it'll make the pain disappear, because it helps you find the meaning in the pain. And meaning changes everything. The day this audiobook came out was the day my own failure finally became real. But maybe that's why this book landed exactly when I needed it. Maybe failure isn't the end of the story. Maybe it's the beginning of a better chapter. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your story. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.